fellow citizens, exporters, and our allies in the markets we work with. As we cross over to the year 2025, I thank you for your consistent support, your kindness, and encouragement in the year 2024. In the year we are ending today, we have tested our 4-pillar model, and it is working because it's beginning to produce results. Partly the reason we had revenue increases in some of the markets we have targeted in the year ending 31st December 2024. On markets where we work hard to stop blind trade for our companies, we renewed some of our trade agreements, such as the one with Serbia that was signed in September of 1963 by the late Mayanja Nkanji. This is an order to allow product entry into this market at a reduced rate. We also signed an air service agreement to allow flights, both passenger and cargo, for our airlines with that country. We reached out to southern China in April, and we appointed a trade representative there who has given us huge orders of simsim, of cassava, and coffee, and many other products, and we are working on these. We focused on the markets of the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, of Nigeria, of United Kingdom, where we now have trade representatives, and we are closing the year with advanced efforts to open trade hubs in these locations. On standards to achieve global compliance, we have worked hard to ensure all institutions that are involved in food production, food supervision. Once this authority, soon to be called the Food and Agriculture Authority, or FARA, is created this coming year, the current negative reporting of our food by the media, its certification and export of our food will all be managed, given that reporters will have one place to direct their questions. These reports, the media reports you see, have been very difficult for us on the markets which we open. On infrastructure on land, water, and in the air, we have supported, for example, fruits and vegetables and the coffee sectors by setting up a center of excellence at Entebbe Airport at the free zones. I am hoping that they will use this facility to demonstrate the best processing and possible export standard of some kind for our farms. We have also negotiated lower cargo rates for the regional markets of Africa where there is no road or rail infrastructure. We will continue to work on raising funding for aerodromes, for manufacturing, for processing facilities of the 13 products which we export, such as simsim, cassava, dairy, beef, fish, poultry, and many others. We closed this year 2024 with the opening of the Africa Common Market for our products into Nigeria. We are now working on airline charters and travel and food content in the tourism sector through docu-series. We are commissioning docu-series on Uganda this January, which will run on global channels such as Netflix and others. These will be viewed in the US, in Asia, in Europe, so that we can begin to estimate how much awareness we are creating for arrivals into Uganda and more orders for our exporting farms. Our biggest constraint in all this has been the lack of regulatory authority or some sort of power to enforce timely decisions to support the private sector. Meeting people at a conviction level is good, and this has been my mantra since I became conscious of our country's problems in 1992 when I was a university student. That you must use influence and teaching to bring change is good, because we know change is emotional, change is physical, change is psychological, change is hard. It does not come easily, it doesn't get accepted easily, given that every inch you take, it forces the acknowledgement of a new reality. But with God being our help, we will get there. We won't give in to these obstructions, the intimidation of some of our exporters, the intimidation of our suppliers, the kind of lying that I see daily on social media. Those who do these things should know they harm their own body, because Uganda is just one body. They could work in a self-enlightened interest to support this work, knowing in the end it touches their own families, their own farmers, their own supporters, and their own exporters. We will keep teaching, we will keep training, we will keep engaging, we will keep counseling till we build a new culture for our country. We don't have options beyond this. On export credit support for orders and invoices of exporters, we have created a whole new way to underwrite export orders. For all our 62 exporting companies on our original database, the first 10 were front-loaded before December 25th, 2024 as test cases. I thank God that we are now moving. This is in spite of the limited knowledge in the credit support area and a not so healthy private sector environment on matters of risk and trust. The institutions we are working with, from banks to collateral managers, insurers, along with the young people that are doing this work, should be very highly commended for this groundbreaking tool that they are using to support our export firms very quickly in a way we've not done it in the past. In 2025, we'll focus, one, on raising funding for product aggregation centers, at least in 4 corners of the country, where it is easier to add value, to finance, to ship to markets in a consistent way. The export markets are asking for this approach to make us a little more reliable as suppliers than we have been. I think now with the learning, we went to the luxurious portions of a tree, its leaves, which is the market, and we didn't know that the roots were not strong enough to hold the tree, which is production. We are now returning to these roots to create capacity there and to assure our markets. Number 2, we will also begin work on data gathering and kick off data analytics. This is so that we can get the best pricing of our commodities at a global level. We cannot compete if we can't price ourselves well on the world market. We need all the support of the young people who are knowledgeable in this area in this coming year. Number 3, we will start work on bilateral trade agreements that Uganda has signed since 1962. In all these years with our allies, we will see which of these we can fully utilize to give our country better market entry for our products. Now, I specifically want to thank President Yoweri Museveni for believing in us, for keeping with us on this long journey, and for supporting these ideas on how to sell Ugandan products, how to increase farmer earnings, and along the way, how to improve manufacturing and value addition to our products. I also thank some of those ministries and government departments and my friends in those places who I don't want to mention that cooperate with us to do better on our exports. I thank many of you, our exporting community, for the confidence you've placed in these reforms since we began on March 16th, 2022. I thank all our trade envoys in over 10 locations of the world. I thank our committee that supervises the work we do. I most of all thank all of you young people at PACEID. These groups I mentioned are the ones who bear the brunt of my pressure to get things moving daily. I thank you all and have a great 2025.